Welcome, fellow Goy, Kafir, Gaijin, Lawai, human beings, and earthlings. All right. I believe you can hear me. Just to make sure, let me add me on stage. Voila. All right. Change my background. To comic book series I created back in 2017. Talked about this before. Pitched it to Frank Miller, creator of Sin City, Dark Batman, Daredevil as we know him. The list goes on. And yeah, well, again, many of us were warning about these things that we're going through now. I think the important thing is to realize that, well, they, them, whoever they, them are, who cares at this point? The fruits are what matters. That we don't allow them to push us to, well, where they've been hurting us for generations now, which is self-destruction. After a couple of world wars and all the wars in between, and so on, all the craziness, all the cancer, the filthy lucre's sake, cancer clusters, and 2020 lockdown, Y2K, the U.S. bailouts, the list goes on and on. 9/11, and now World War III, which has been taking place for a couple of years now, but is hitting off with God Emperor Daddy Trump doing the bidding of Netanyahu. And people are celebrating. One end, look, it's, you got to feel good about the end of tyranny, right? But then If we're fighting fire with fire, there's obviously some concern there. When we become like the enemy, who wins? Yeah. If we become like the enemy, then are we not the enemy? Whose servant do we become? So let the crazy ones do what the crazy ones are going to do, the evil ones, the ones that the Bible warns us about 2,000 years ago. And you focus on Christ. Save yourself first, as Christ has tried to teach us in so many different ways. And then bring with you whoever you can, having saved yourself, so to speak. I mean, as the one video goes, you can't really save yourself, but yeah. In other words, keep your noose, pray unceasingly, remain centered on Christ, and wash your hands of all the evil that the groupthink mob is diving into head first with absolute passion. Let me start off with a little thing here. Put this on stage. You guys can see it. Is it too late to give you the? No, we're good. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to read this out loud. It's from actually a little backstory here. It's quite ironic. This is quite random. Literally, like a few minutes before the stream started, I pulled this up. It just happened to be from the website, the homepage of a church in the quote unquote South, Greenville, South Carolina. I actually got some corporate training in that neck of the woods. Ironically, I seen behind the curtain there, and that place. I mean, talk about corporations and setting you up to. I mean, first of all, they put you in a position where you become completely dependent on them, and then they set you up to be just a bunch of rats, just a bunch of backstabbers. But yeah, speaking of cancer clusters, just the secret labs. I mean, I was working for corporate America in a very popular food chain, which still exists. I won't say which. But yeah, I mean, they had their secret lab that only certain people had secret clearance that they could get into. I mean, what are they hiding? If there was anything good that they were creating in that secret center in Greenville, South Carolina, in that neck of the woods, Spartanburg, they're within. If there's anything good, why are they hiding it? Why is it like Fort Knox to get into this building? And why do you need a lab for food recipes? What is that about? Anyway, tangent, but relevant one. It all comes from the same thing: love of money, love of evil, and a hatred for God because of that. Ego, of course, too. So let me let's get into this. The passions. Some may not be so familiar with this idea of the passions. Some, unfortunately, consider themselves Christians because they've been led to believe that if you just say some magic words, you're Christian. Saved by grace alone, forever saved, prosperity gospel, this, that, and the other. And I'm not really, I mean, much of a theologian. I'm just learning these things. I never, embarrassed to admit, I don't think I ever had enough love for my fellow man to get invested in what they believed theologically. In other words, when Protestants, did their thing and said their thing, I was like, all right, so, they're a bit without, whatever. And that apathy is really the opposite of love. Better late than never, I hope. But I'm learning now, and I'm learning the hard way. Some rude awakenings. But all right, so the passions. If you've not heard of them, this is a good, I think, intro to that. And if you have heard of them, you might enjoy this as well too. So what are the passions? Passions are the uncontrollable desires that come from our bodily needs. They subordinate our soul to our egotistic or self-will. They come about because we forget about God and only think of our own needs. Sounds like something mass media puts in us. How many likes did you get today, by the way? Do you measure yourself by how many followers you have on the net web? Your value, your self-worth, your success? All right, so technically what the church fathers talk about, the 7 passions are gluttony, lust, avarice, which is greed, anger, dejection. Pretty guilty of that. This is a periodic complex which stems from ego. God, immerse my soul. I'm paying for that dearly. Listlessness. I mean, how many famous people, filthy rich and famous, insanely famous, end up offing themselves because they're so depressed? Listlessness. Have everything, but are absolutely, utterly despondent. It's like Christ warns. And pride. I mean, how much of these are rooted in ego? All these passions lead us to sin, but with proper discipline can be offset by virtues. We'll get to virtues. I know some people who, unfortunately, call themselves Christian, don't believe we don't need God's law. We don't need virtue. Yeah, said the magic words, and therefore, I'm saved now. I mean, there's a scene from that HBO original series about the mobsters that I think it was in season 3, I think, where the main boss he goes back to his office of sanitation, the mob front, and I think it was Tony Soprano. It was the character's name. And basically, he's going back to the office. They're now cleaning out his old office. They're using as storage because he never went, because it's a front. And so he's introduced to his new secretary they just hired, and a cute, petite little blonde hair, blue eyed, young chick. And of course, he's showing interest. And the guy that's showing him around, his work or whatever he was, his manager, he's like, yeah, she's born again. And he gets a sinister grin on his face. It's like, oh, born again, huh? And he kind of licks his lips. And then you jump to the other scene, a couple of other sequences, and you jump back to the office in the middle of the night. You can imagine what's taking place there. Yeah, the magic words. Grace alone. Void of virtue. That's not a small problem, especially if you're running around telling people you don't need God's law. It doesn't get much more evil than that. Okay, so let's get to spiritual grace. We'll get into grace and what that means a bit, but how do passions develop into sin? Sin starts with a suggestion that comes into our mind. For example, this can begin by, mass media, bombarded with it, whether you like it or not. This could begin by someone expressing an opinion that is different than your own. This suggests to you that this person is against you in some way. Ego again. This triggers feelings of anger in your mind. Next, you struggle with this feeling of anger, trying to put it out of your mind. And, as we are driven to not only, absolute despair. 5 years of a lockdown, economic lockdown, amongst other things. All these other crazy things that we bombarded with through the webnet. It's quite easy. With all these inundated psychological triggers, coupled with all the real world stress of being impoverished and having our lives destroyed after we bought into this lie that we'll be happy if we play along, become worldly, that we have a paradise on earth. Well, people become quite disgruntled, become quite aggressive. Put it out of your mind. But as you struggle with it, you find yourself attracted to the feeling more and more. You want to rebuke the other person. Eventually, you let yourself become angry. Then you choose to take some action as a result of your anger. So, from thought, that manifests into behaviors, something the academics will tell you you should ignore. That's outdated. You're an idiot if you talk about behavior. It's all about cognition, about living in your head. Hmm. You tell or try to discredit the other person when you take such action based on the suggestion, or mass media conditioning. You are said to be enslaved by your passion and this desire for what is being denied by the person. You are driven to react with anger, which is a sin. Of course. But how often do we forget that? In the webnet, what's this cannibalistic I'm cooking rhetoric that people are habitually relentlessly doing, even in the midst of pointing out, hey, man, you're calling yourself a Christian, but you're pushing cannibalism. What's this about? And, oh, destroyed. Let's do a debate. There's nothing but debates and visceral shenanigans with insane egoism, insane extreme egoism. To which end? What's the benefit in all that? What does it do to you emotionally? Never mind mentally, but spiritually. What is that doing to you? It is something that you do not seem to be able to control. This is the way sin develops and persists. Well, at the end of the day, the brain is a organ. As the good book says, the eyes are the windows to the soul. I argue that in the inverse perspective, in that it's the windows to the soul, not only revealing someone's essence, but also a channel through which that essence is manipulated through the organs, through the eyeballs, through the nervous system, through the brain, through psychological triggers embedded by mass media for generation after generation. Our challenge is to overcome this reactive pattern so we can avoid sin. Reactive pattern. Sound familiar? It's beyond reactionary these days. And all in a matter of what, a decade? 1.5 decades, 2 decades? The internet use really blew up after mobile phone use became in vogue, but especially during the 2020 lockdown, whether you liked it or not. We were already being forced on the internet, on mobile devices, but 2020 lockdown, that was the game changer by design, top down. Yep, our challenge is to overcome this reactive pattern so we can avoid sin and instead show a virtue such as mildness. Whoa. Doesn't that sound foreign? Mildness? People gawk at that these days. What are you, a wimp? We want masculine Christianity. We want Christian karate. Are you kidding me? What now? To stop this kind of reaction, we need to make a change of mind, which in Greek is metanoia, or translated as repentance. I often say, and I may be theologically incorrect for saying this, and forgive me if I am, but I argue that repentance may be the greatest gift God gave us. The opportunity to make amends for the evil we're guilty of. The vileness that we ourselves proliferate. This is not always easy, but is an important task for our spiritual well-being. These deep patterns, deep patterns embedded psychologically, therefore corrupting our soul. These deep patterns must be broken and separated from automatic responses. Trigger. The path to our salvation calls us to develop the capacity to control each of the passions. Again, this is important. Just read that again. The path to our salvation, all of us, the path to our salvation calls us to develop the capacity to control each of the passions. How many ways did Christ tell us to do this? How many different ways? The most basic of our passions is our desire for food. And this is Great Lent. We're about, a week into Great Lent? Great opportunity for this. Yeah. And so it's talking about going from the physical to the spiritual. Of course, we cannot live without food, so the body puts a high priority on its desire to meet its basic need to maintain its life. This is a natural and good desire God gave us for our well being. There's nothing sinful about food itself or our desire for it. But most of us end up eating for pleasure and not just for the health of our body. This is why dieting is such a huge industry. Many of us are controlled by our appetites. We know we should not have that first piece of chocolate cake or the second one, but somehow we are captured by the delight of it. It gives us, even though we know it is not for what our body needs, nor is it good for our health. The sin is when we are no longer in control of this desire for food. It is when the attraction becomes stronger and stronger as we think about it. Again, this is again important. This goes across the board. Across the board. If you guys knew, I mean, forgive me, I'm bragging a bit. Maybe I'll share a little something after I read this about myself, but I mean, just to demonstrate how possible it is for all of us, because I'm nothing special, so to speak. What I mean to say is that I'm God's child just like everyone else. I've got my flaws just like everyone else. I got my limitations and so on. I definitely like some cake for starters. But yeah, there's some obstacles that are overcome that people would think that, well, that's impossible. But that idea that it's impossible is just mass media lies, deceit from the evil one to get us to submit to evil desire, thinking that, well, Resistance is futile. Isn't that what mass media message is? Resistance is futile. So the sin is when we are no longer in control of this desire for food. It is when the attraction becomes stronger and stronger as we think about it and find that we cannot stop our actions. This attraction pulls us over to eat, to overeat, or to buy foods we cannot afford. This strong attraction to food is why the church fathers put such an emphasis on fasting. In their wisdom, they knew that if we learn to control this one critical passion, fundamental to our survival, basic, core thing, we will have the strength to deal with the others. It is the natural first step in controlling our passions. I mean, I wish I can express myself or write things and even have a thought process like this to even express it, to be frank. I don't even know if I can even think like this, to be frank. What are the virtues? Virtuous acts are the fruits of ascetic discipline. Ascetic discipline. Not ascetic, not visually pleasing, but ascetic. To be abstaining from that which is, well, spiritually detrimental. Virtuous acts are the fruits of ascetic discipline, and they only come by grace. Okay. I fear there are some out there that have confused grace with this one time forgiveness that somehow is now eternal. It's quite the opposite. Grace is a synergy with God, something you build towards. Entering the kingdom of heaven is a violent process, the good book says. It's a process. If you're not acknowledging or understanding or relating to anything else, you've got to at least admit that to yourself, that it is a process. This is the Bible saying that, amongst other things. Jesus Christ himself, talking about following the Ten Commandments, demonstrating so many different things. I know some want to talk about, I've semi-recently been hit with this idea that, well, after Christ was crucified, everything changed. What do you mean? What is that? How do you say that Christ came to the world, did all these things, and all those things that Christ did doesn't matter? Why would he do them? Because he was bored, he had nothing else to do. He liked the sound of his. What are you saying? Like the sound of his voice, or he just did things? What are you people going on about, man? God have mercy. Stop it. Stop. Repent. Now's the time to do it. It's a great time to do it. Join us in repentance. Virtuous acts are the fruits of ascetic disciplines, and they only come by grace. Our efforts only provide the conditions for us to receive grace. In other words, out with the bad, in with the good. Forgive me for using that, but just to keep it simple, to put it a different way, to put it biblically, we're keeping our house swept so the demons don't come back even stronger. That takes work. It's a process. And what are we doing? Why are we sweeping the home? Not only to keep the demons out, but to make room for that which is clean, that which is holy to enter. That takes repentance. I have planted, Apollos labored, but God gave the increase. 1 Corinthians 3:6. The virtues are temperance, chastity, generosity, mildness, happiness, diligence, and humility. The essential attitude for each of them is the acknowledgement of the omniscience of God, the seeking of salvation with humility, laboring with sincerity, and a pure conscience. A pure conscience. If you believe that you don't need God's law, that you're somehow saved no matter what, where's your conscience? In doing all we know how to do to control our passions. If we study the lives of the saints, who are people who lived virtuous lives, again, we have modern day saints. Nobody's saying that there's only one uh, inner circle of saints and so on and so forth. That's these kinds of thoughts and slander are really not rooted in the virtuous heart. So be mindful of that. Saints in the Greek, biblically speaking, it just means holy people. It means righteous people. It means followers of God. Bottom line. If we study the lives of the saints, who are people who live virtuous lives, we find that they fast, engage in vigils, periods of solitude, read scripture regularly, read the writings of the church fathers, attend church services, and participate in the sacraments regularly. These are all known as ascetic practices. And full disclosure here, I struggle with some of these things. I will say this, thank God I am struggling. There is some struggle there. There's some desire, some effort. God knows I need to do a lot better though. And that becomes evident. Well, you guys have heard me in recent past, how the lack thereof manifests itself in the submission to the evil passions. I mean, my live streams are still up. I'll leave them up intentionally. The reason I pray that people at least can learn from my mistakes, so some good at least can come out of them. That's why I leave that stuff up. And for full disclosure, I'm full disclosure guy. All right, let me read this last part, and I'm going to share a little anecdote about myself. I think it's important. Let me see. Is anybody messaging me? Nope. Okay. No problem. No worries. All right, here we go. What is meant by purity of heart? May be blessed. The term heart is often used by our church fathers. The term heart. Okay, not the team. Team heart. Go team heart. The term heart is often used by our church fathers. This is where we're getting a bit philosophical, but that's what they did. They help people understand what these things are, what they mean. That was their job. And it had already been accomplished and established. Deviation from that is no good. The term heart is often used by our church fathers. Are they referring to our physical heart? No. Are they thinking about our emotions and affections? No. I mean, let me bring myself up in camera for just 1 minute. Forgive me for the interruption. But let's see here. Again, in education programs, online teaching, the Chinese did this for years. It's been quite a while. I don't know how many years. A long time. About a decade now, give or take. Anyway, some of the programs, I've been in a couple of different organizations doing that, and a couple organizations promote in their instructional videos for us and so on. these young children doing this gesture, right? You guys have seen this all over the place, right? Hearts all over the place. You got the kids giving the hearts. It's really cute. That's really nice. It's heartwarming. It tugs at our heartstrings. It works. But unfortunately, they also got kids, and you may have seen this, and it was in the movie Turning Red, by the way, something I illustrated a while back with Amir Zidane. And maybe I need to go back to my old videos and make shorts of all these things, or, shorter videos, and start revisiting this stuff. But basically, the heart, instead of putting it here, they put it in their crotch area. I'm not making this up. Can anyone explain to me the purpose of that? I mean, this to me already was offensive because of the diamond cutter, and I'm not going to get into that. Or maybe it's potential associations with other things, or maybe conspiracy theory because of the proof of these things. But I mean, at face value, this is fine, you can argue. But when you're putting in your crotch area, child or not, but especially children, what are they saying there? What's the point of that? Who taught them that? For what? Can anyone explain that one to me? All right, let's see here. Sorry about the interruption. I get off on my tangents, but I got triggered. Speaking of which. Okay. The term the heart is often used by our church fathers. Are they referring to physical heart? No. Are they thinking about our emotions and affections? No. They are thinking of more than this. Here is how St. Theophan the Recluse puts it. The heart is the innermost man, or spirit. Here are located self-awareness, the conscience, the idea of God and one's complete dependence on Him, and all the eternal treasures of the spiritual life. The heart is like the center of our spiritual being. It is through the heart that grace of God penetrates us. It is the place of Christ within us. Amen. When our church fathers tell us to purify our heart, they mean to remove all our tendencies towards sin. So our heart is pure and able to freely receive the work of the Holy Spirit. This is how Christ becomes our guiding force from within. So again, despite what mass media tells you, is it really from within? Is it something internal that we spawn? Or is it something that's guided by Christ, or the Holy Spirit? One with pure heart overcomes sin and is blessed by grace to live a virtuous life. All right, I'm sharing this link in the chat and in the description. Let me go and get that done. Oops. Right, my bad. Okay. Yeah, in the chat now. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Whoa, my internet's going wacky. What happened here? What's going on? There it is. This is why we don't jam microchips into our bodies, by the way. You just can't count on the internet. Okay. So, yeah, that's all. Wait a minute. Come on. Why won't it let me add this link? Okay, here we go. All right. Get rid of that. Automatic add. Okay. So, yeah, where were we? I was going to share something myself here. I want to go back. What are you guys? Hold on. I'm confused here. Let me put myself on here. Like this, I think. Can I do it? No, I cannot, unfortunately. Bummer. Why does it always take that option away? Maybe it's this one? Nope, that was not it. Ugly, ugly, ugly. I guess I'll have to go with this. Okay. All right. Yeah, there's a better option. But yeah, my apologies. Okay, so yeah, when I was in my 20s, I was well, a bit of a drunkard. I mean, I wasn't habitually drunk, but as mass media upbringing uh, has it, you get drunk, you get nearly unconscious, and it's funny and it's entertaining, and you're being social and all these stupid things, which I bought into. Um, so yeah, I overcame that. Uh, Not me personally, so to speak. Yeah, I wanted to. I hit my bottom, as they say. Um, but yeah, it was really the whole time. I mean, doing these things, getting away from God, that always bothered me. I wasn't raised in a church, but at any rate, it affected me. But when I hit the bottom, it was a wake up call. It was my own rude awakening, like, whoa. And this was a time when, not when I was drunk, my bottom was actually when I was sober and hungover, disgruntled. And I did something that was quite psychotic. Like, whoa, I just did that. That's me. So, yeah, at that point, I started reaching out, praying to God, God, please, I need to stop this. Because, I mean, I got to the point where I was drinking so much back then in my 20s, I was having internal issues. So, it wasn't, again, a daily thing. I was what they call a functional alcoholic, I guess. But, and no, don't do any 12-step programs there. Stay away from the Masonic orgs, please. Yeah, they're circular, by the way. They're a trap. Please stay away from them. You commit to something and you do it. You stick to it. Not this shenanigans these crafty ones are putting into. Oh, I got a disease. Oh, I can't get over. That's evil. That's a lie. Stay away from them. Anyway, um, yeah. Look, I mean, it was bad. I mean, I had days where I would call it my kidneys locking up. I don't know exactly what was going on. I never saw a doctor about it. Um, some doctors later did tell me I have some problems. Okay, whatever. But yeah, it got to the point where I had such bad pain that I mean I couldn't even walk. Maybe it was kidney stones. Maybe it was that. I don't know. At any rate, that all that didn't stop me. Almost dying repeatedly. I mean, it was just a mess. I mean, I'm really ashamed. I am. I know it doesn't seem like I am ashamed of myself. Thank God it's in the past. Thank God I repented from that. And it took some effort, some work on my part. Say a lot of work. It took some time, of course, and some assistance. I didn't do it alone. Of course, I did it not only through God's grace, uh, divine intervention, and mean literally, but through the help of others too, that cared a lot about me. Two special others. Can't say their names, but two very important people that helped me with other things, forgiving myself, one. But yeah, with quitting drinking, that was a big part of the thing too. And when I went back to quit to make sure I wouldn't do it anymore, I promised God I would not do it anymore. And when I broke my promise to God, you should make promises to God, by the way. But when I broke my promise, well, I then learned the fear of God, and that's why I now to this day fear even taking a sip. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so alcoholism is not the easiest thing to overcome. It's not crack cocaine, but it's still pretty heavy burden. But it's possible through God. All things are possible. Okay. The other thing is the whole sexual thing. Speaking of food, well, we're also built with sexual organs that have hormones, and well, you know, sometimes they have a mind of their own, so to speak. And if you're not in that way, I mean, if I'm not married, so to me, they're a nuisance. How did I overcome that? Well, for starters, I got away from the conditioning, the boob tube, and the U-boob, the Web-Net. I do everything I can to block that stuff out. When I'm still confronted with it, and I'm still get confronted with it no matter what I do, I quickly click out and I quickly put it out of my mind. Right? Nip it at the bud. I have my moments physically, because again, this is a physical hormonal thing. When I have my moments, and it's uncontrollable, usually staying busy work helps. The monastics, by the way, despite the mass media slander, they stay busy more than anyone else, to be frank. They put in more hours in their work toward salvation. Their work, that includes physical toiling, doing things, doing activities, prayer, prostrations. I mean, you guys do the prostrations. You don't need Tai Chi, or the thing that they're not conditioning us with. Everyone is now gone from yoga. Now we're being forced into Tai Chi, of course, however you want to look at it. But yeah, I mean, this is vain for me to say this, but I have achieved chastity. God forgive me for being vain, but I'm saying it for your sake. I'm saying that a guy like me, who those who know me personally know it's not an easy task. I mean, I'm not, a sleazeball, but man, when I was younger, I used to fall in love every other week, and back then, again, it's for me, it was still about marriage, but it was also, to be frank, it was driven by lust, by passions, love at first sight, mass media conditioning. Now I'm single. Now I'm paying that price. Anyway, yeah, my point is this, guys. And maybe it does get easier when you get older. I've been told by others it doesn't change. I've been told by others marriage doesn't change that either. I'm going to say maybe they're right. I will say this, though: being anchored in Christ heals all, does all, is capable of everything, of anything and everything. Answer prayers. Some of the answer prayers, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. Anyway, I just want to share that. Okay, so let's get into the shenanigans, right? The mainstream jazz. How long we've been at this for over 45 minutes. Okay, I've got a few things I want to share, and then I'll wrap it up. I have no presentation. I just kind of came into this kind of blind. Again, I felt compelled with all the people being deceived. Having to choose yet another beep boop 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 beep boop dichotomy. Binary, didactic, pseudo dichotomy. Damned if you do, damned if you don't shenanigans. Where you're being forced to choose whether you're going to be a Zionist or you're going to be what would you call it? Bricks bitch. That's what I call them. Bricks, crinker, whatever. Either way, you're being, Zionist, you're being anti-Christian, or you're being, pagan, anti-Christian. Why are Christian apologists pushing you to choose, Zionism, really, which is anti-Christian? If you love God, why would you idolize King David? And the best thing King David offers us is his repentance. The rescue is a model for what not to do, like many Jews were, still are. Why would you choose anybody else? Buddha? Pick a Hindu deity. Taoism? Okay, that's a bit dated. I don't know. Why would you pick anything else? I mean, why African pagan? Why is African paganism all of a sudden getting popularized too? By the way, Brazilian stuff. Bricks much? And people are celebrating war. For the love of God, don't you know that even in the Crusades, and again, I'm not Catholic, but even in the Crusades, where the Catholics came over uh, and did their thing, from what I'm told and understand, when they went back in repentance. They did a necessary evil, but they did it in a somber way and came back repenting for having taken a life. I know, again, in the Zionist circles, there's this idea. Well, you know what? There's a difference between killing and murdering. Okay, yeah, all right. I'm not going to deny that, but there's a big problem with bloodlust, with warmongering. Oh, but Jesus said, take the two swords. Where you going? You need this. Well, that was before. That was before the passion. That was before the betrayal by Judah. That was before, well, the Roman soldier's servant getting his ear cut off and Christ healing the enemy, the servant of the enemy, no less. The very ones that are getting ready to crucify him. But also, even if you want to say it has nothing to do with that, it may not. I'm not the greatest theologian. I'm not trying to pretend I am. But let me just say this. Does Christ say you're going to go to war? Ever? All right. Okay, first one. Here we go. Let's get into it. I mean, these examples abound. In fact, Gary was on. You know what? Let me see if I can. He might. He might have. Um, yeah. Okay. So let's see. I'll see if he's done. By the time I'm done yapping with these videos, he will have finished. Gary of Neurotic. If you guys are wondering who I'm talking about. Okay. Where's my thing? Is that better? Yep, that's better. Okay, make it bigger. That I need to. Jim Bob, one of the people that I still watched for a while, but he seems to have just resided into, you know what, I'm just going to be about money. I mean, he was doing good with repenting for a while, but he seems to just let it go. And this recently made a proclamation which challenged him on, and he took it to heart. But he was just obviously struggling with it, and evidently money won out. Love of money won out. And so now he's just focusing on that. I mean, pray for this guy. He means well. He means well. Um, but I fear this money thing is driving him. It was a driving issue from the beginning. This his behavior was sketched from the beginning, but he definitely way compared more than many showed a willingness to do what's correct, what's right, to be virtuous and therefore repent. But anyways, he's talking about censorship here. Let's get to it.
Work here. So yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Yeah.
This is definitely my livelihood. I actually don't know what other options I would take. People could say Rumble or this or that, but
why not this or that? Why not this or that? Why not Gab? Is it not financially lucrative for you? Uh-oh.
it just doesn't have the infrastructure currently.
Infrastructure currently to a blah, 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 blah. Okay. Yeah, I really like this guy a lot. And it doesn't sound like it. But this surrendering to the enemy, being a servant of the enemy for the sake of money, filthy lucre's sake. Titus 1. Not good. Not good at all. Link is in the chat. Adding it to the description as we speak. Moving on. Let's see if Gary. Hold on. Let me look up real quick. Gary's stuff. Really? Okay, let's try it this way. Gosh, or not. Let's try it this way. Okay, come on, Gary. Are you still going on? Subscriptions. Erotic. Where you at? Oh, I think I gave him a thumbs down for this one. Yeah, he's been a schmuck. I might share that too. He's quite the schmuck, this guy. Actually, they all are. I've come to accept it and acknowledge to myself, and now I'm starting to do it publicly. These people are just sellouts, whatever reason, to what degree, I don't know. I don't care. Judging by the fruits, that's what matters. Come on, Gary Neurotic. Where's your video? It's right here. No, it's not here. Where's your live, man? Did that get taken down too? Are you kidding me? He just live streamed and they took it down. Why? Well, he was complaining about censorship. Look, let me show you guys. Hold on. Let me show you this. Can I share the... Yeah, I think I have to. Give me a second. I need 1,000 clicks. Come on, computer. My computer's freezing up on me. Computer, let's go. Do not put microchips into your bodies. I guess I can get out of this. Oh, by the way, one quick story and one anecdote. This Greenville thing. Well, doing what was I even doing? I don't remember anymore. This Greenville thing. I need a production assistant. I was okay. I was going to show you guys this stuff. Yeah, this Greenville parish. This priest from this parish. I've never actually been to this parish. Well, maybe I have. I don't know. I did, like I said, do the training in that area, so maybe I did go to the parish. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But at any rate, I wasn't a member of that parish. But that priest visited our parish. And it was the darndest thing, because back then I was definitely really heavy into my formation to, just surrendering myself to God. Long story short. And there was a weird service or a function on a Saturday, which I never did. But something was really nagging at me that I needed to go to this thing. And so, yeah, I got to say that, what is going on? It won't let me share anything. This is so frustrating. Yeah, basically what happens is, so this guy, I can't remember what it was, ended up being like some kind of talk with this visiting priest from Greenville, South Carolina. And whatever his talk was about, I don't know. I was sitting off in the way corner and all that. And he asked some question, and it was like, I don't know, I raised my hand or something like that and asked my question. And he like points at me and just shouts in his voice, like it was quite profound. You need to be a deacon for that. And yeah, I mean, that's probably, it's one of those things where you just had to be there, but it was very weird. Weird. Where are you at? For crying out loud. But yeah, that was the start of my 2-decade journey of trying to become a deacon and botching things up because I don't have a filter. And really, I deviate a lot. I'm embarrassed to admit. Okay, here we go. Gary. No, this is not it. What the heck? Oh, yeah. This is it. Okay. Oh, wow. It's worked. There's a new feature I can now add. Okay, so as you can guys see, it was about an hour and a half in, actually. That's a bit off. He starts talking about the censorship, about his getting a strike in his war with Paramount, ongoing battle, and how he was upset in this case because whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he's also admitting that he's part of the inner circle with the U-boob and all that. Go figure. 1 million subscribers. You see, it's these people, and I've got another one where I might clip this to a video. I've got so many projects. I don't know if I'll ever get to it, but in the same stream, he's also going on about. Hold on, let me make sure I get this right. Yeah. So actually, Chris Gore is one that I'm not a fan of. He's a flagella, but I mean literally, he advertises it. He's got a thing called Film Threat. Chris Gore. I mean, what else needs to be said there? But he was actually calling Hollywood out once in a blue moon. I mean, he takes that conservative stance. I would say more so than Gary when it comes to these values. I don't know. It's kind of weird. They're both really liberals that are trying to be conservative, but they're both doing a botched up job of it, in my opinion. If I may judge. But yeah, it basically was like going on how media destroyed the father, and back in older media, you had virtuous father figures. That was his substitute father. I'm talking about Chris Gore here, and that should tell you a lot about his disposition. Pray for that guy too, man. He underneath it all, he seems like a good guy that's really struggling, but a flagella galore. I mean, he's quite flamboyant, actually. Anyway, yeah, and Gary, Mr. Neurotic, just jumps on him. Oh, and by the way, the one on the bottom, that's X-Ray Girl. That's his production, his producer, and he's also married to an Oriental chick. They're bashing Disney on a regular basis as relentlessly as they do. It's a bit suspect. I wonder if they're bricks bitches. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, but that's really, really common. Really, really common, unfortunately. What the heck is going on here with these controls? Okay. Where were we? Oh, yeah, the video. Good gravy. Let's get to the next one. X out of Jim Bob. Oh, here you go. Speaking of Freemasons. Okay, let's get into this one. Let me see if you guys can see it. Nope, you can't. I need to add to the stage. How do I get rid of this? Remove from studio. Add to stage. Make it bigger. Can I make it bigger? Yes, I can. I got to do this. Voila. And I got to do that. Actually, you know what? Let's leave it like this. Here we go. So this guy, Brad Owens, 2-3 years ago, after the lockdown, him and another one became. It was 3 of them actually, but 2 very prominent ones. Well, actually, all 3 of them are very prominent. What am I saying? Very prominent internet celebrities, poker players, professional poker players. They bought into the lodge, a Masonic hangout, a gambling casino, which is really common for these lodges, these Freemasons, is the gambling. Yeah. By the way, again, tangent. Trump didn't even swear in on the Bible, people. A casino owner etc., etc. How are these ever-Trumpers passionately going on about how he's their savior? It's insane. Anyway, yeah, Brad Owen. He's out of the three. He's the best of them, in my opinion. He's got probably, I don't know. Anyways, but a Freemason nonetheless. Obviously, I mean, he's invested in the lodge, and he admits here that, well, his losses that he does on these videos, or his losses really, probably does videos now still. All his losses goes to taxpayer dollars. What percentage of that is 100%? I don't know, but a percentage of that is taxpayer burden.
Cut off calls. 3 players end up seeing the turn. The dealer puts out a 10 of hearts. Aces could have been drawing dead. The turn slows down the action to start. Under the gun +1 checks. Under the gun +2 doesn't seem thrilled either. King of hearts putting a 4th heart on the board. And 4 cards to the straight on board as well. Aces would be reduced to dust. Under the gun +2 checks. The cutoff immediately.
By the way, it's always the usual suspects. It's always Jews or Muslims or Orientals or Brazilians or Germans or Dutch or Americans at these tables. Always. Always, always. Oh, and Russians. I've left out the Russians. What's up with that?
Checks and shows queen deuce offsuit with the queen.
Oh, by the way, the Orientals, I need to do a thing just on the muzzles. That's still going on. Orientals are always muzzled. They're always being featured. Muzzled. The masks on, the 2020 lockdown masks. Muzzles. It's crazy.
Queen of hearts to hit the backdoor flush. Under the gun +2 shows that he hit a straight with king jack on the turn. He's got no heart in his hand. Queen deuce takes 10.
I mean, I had this, I thought, on spot. And for some reason, when I started my thingamajig, my StreamYard, it refreshed again. This one kind of was the only one that was saved, but it seems to be off. Hold on.
Down a large 10K pot. Our aces were likely best on the flop. In fact, if I'd raised, I might have even gotten everyone else to fold, but I also could have lost piles of money if I happened to run into 2 pair or better. I'm okay taking the safe route to ensure that I don't go broke with only 1 pair while having 9 opponents with all sorts of draws present. A half hour later, we play another.
Okay, that wasn't it. In here somewhere, he admits that, yeah, it's a tax write-off, his losses. Forgive me, we'll just skip it. I'm not asking you to take my word for it. Here's a link. You can watch the whole thing by yourself. The guy's quite entertaining. I think Texas Hold'em, the reason I watch it, it's a brilliant strategy game. But I would encourage you to stay away from gambling. I know this sounds like contradictory, but there's like free online Texas Hold'em. I mean, it's all gimmicky. It's all designed to psychologically get you hooked so you can give them your money. Please avoid that. I mean, it's a gateway. All this stuff is gateways. I'm saying. I'm not saying you should go watch it. I'm just saying it's my guilty pleasure. But I don't partake in any of the gambling. Anyway, yeah, that's in the description and so on in the chat. Let's move on to the next thing. It was important for me to show you guys that this stuff, I mean, these people with hundreds of thousands, they're Masons sometimes. I don't know to what degree. They're yeah, but supported by you, Boop. Is it a really coincidence? Let's get into these guys, huh? Poor Mel Gibson, The Passion of the Christ. The guy puts out The Passion of the Christ. Am I on screen here? Yes, I'm on screen. You guys can see me. Because let me just... Passion of the Christ, man. You guys remember that movie? Even the faithful were moved by that movie. A Mel Gibson production. He wanted to do it. All the major studios said no. Since then, all the major studios have fallen. The big 4? Where are they? Universal? Got sucked in. What's the other one? Oh, just recently. Warner Brothers. Paramount. Paramount got bought out by Sky, which is Hebrew / Muslim. What? Yeah, there's Muslim money supporting, dictating things with Sky. And then, in turn, they now just recently won out from when Warner Brothers. Anyways, the point is this. Long story short, yeah, all the major studios, even the minor ones, sold out. 21st century collapsed. I mean, part of me is celebrating it. I can't lie. But the grass is not greener. Have you watched an anime crap? That dribble, that's so many going, oh, this is really good stuff. I mean, compared to the what they're calling woke, this extremely satanic 21st century. Oh, is there a word for that stuff? Yeah, I guess you could say the manga's better. That's a weird thing. That's like saying, I don't know, nuclear waste is better than contagious manure. No, I don't want either. Give me something good. How about that? Well, what's with all these binary dichotomies? No, give me something good, man. Is there really that much to ask? What about the good old days? There's crap in there. There's a messaging, as I've pointed out, from their beginning. But at least they're still luring you in with the candy, like a pedos that they are. You know, they're still having the good stuff in there that we can still enjoy. Whatever happened to that stuff? Yeah, Happy Days, full of crap. These young teenage boys that are trying to get a gangbang with a girl is one of the episodes. But at least we still had a Masonic, or his father was a Freemason, by the way, going to the lodge. You know, so much better than the crap we have now. Got off on a tangent. Oh yeah, we're talking about the Passion of the Christ. Yeah, so the major studios turned him down, and now they've folded. Glory be to God in all things. Hallelujah. Yeah. So the guy, what does he do? He funds it with his own money. He produces it. I don't know what the budgets are. Let's say, for argument's sake, about 50 million. He invested of his own money in that, something like that, give or take. And he ends up making hundreds of millions, which back then, you know, especially for a movie that's not a Marvel movie or Avatar, that was quite an accomplishment. Quite an accomplishment. And he did his best to stick to the script, so to speak. That was one of the big draws. The Hebrews hated him. Absolute malice. Destroyed the man's life. And along the way, he's like, well, screw you guys. I'm going to start blowing the whistle. And he started telling us about adrenochrome. Without saying adrenochrome. And all the pedophilia, which we knew about. There's so many cases of them getting caught and nothing being done about it. The list goes on and on, as I've covered many of them myself. From the very beginning, including Mr. Disney himself, as according to his wife and daughter, amongst others. Here we are. Stein, anyone? Choose a Stein. At least they're getting called out for it. Now, is there going to be any actual accountability? Polanski. I mean, that remains to be seen. So let's spend a little time on this one. I think this one's worth it. Way worth it. This is Mel Gibson Tried to Warn You by Moon. 1.6 million subscribers. I don't know this person's content. I know nothing about him. This got on my radar through YouTube. And of course, I was going to watch it. So now I'm going to watch it again with you guys for the second time. The link's in the chat. What is this? Nope, this is not it. Oh, yeah. Again, hold on. You guys can see. I cannot see the video that he was doing, or, I mean, just while it started the stream, but it should be showing up if he's still live, and it's not showing up if he's live. He's not showing up on his videos. Of course, when we show up his videos because it's a live stream. What the heck? What am I missing here? Is it on a different neurotic? Hold on, neurotic live. Something's going on here. Maybe I got it wrong. Neurotic live. Let's see what happens. Maybe it's a different one. $18 hours ago. No. Yeah, no, it wasn't neurotic live because that was yeah, it was on neurotic. I just showed you guys the screen thingamajig. Okay. Yeah, anyways, he said he created this because of his spat with Paramount. Let's see, hold on. What were we looking at? Ooh. I'm overwhelming myself here, aren't I? You guys are keeping up with me. Oh yeah. We're talking about Mel Gibson. All right, let's get back to this. At the stage. Okay, the better view. And here we go.
Everyone about the elites for years, and in particular Hollywood itself.
Believe me, I did a lot of research on it. And according to all the research, it was way worse than that.
No matter how strong you are going to be affected by this plague. And you'll resent it for a little while, then you have to let it go. Otherwise, you'll eat yourself alive here. And I think it takes that kind of cockroach resilience to survive in this town.
Yet.
Yes, and again, this is exactly what we're talking about, the passions. It will eat you alive. This is not, again, damned if you do, damned if you don't. You can't, and I'm speaking to myself here, as I say, we cannot give into the passions, regardless. It's so hard to do. Again, being a hypocrite here, we're bombarding ourselves with all this malice, this visceral propaganda. I don't know, what would you call it? I don't know. But yeah, we've got to do it. The best way to do it is unplug. That's the best way to do it. And again, I'm torn with my own life. Which now I'm just really being a creature of habit, and part of it is part of it is, well, I'm still in the world. I'm not a monk, and therefore I need to be doing something to be giving back, to give my life, the gifts God gives me, some value. Yeah, I'm torn, people. But anyways, let's get back to this.
Nobody listened. He was just made out to be a crazy man. But today, people are finally waking up to what he saw 20 years ago.
I get called crazy man all the time to this day. Again, I was on somebody's channel. Hey, why is this is like over 5 years ago? Why is Hollywood movies all dark all of a sudden? Oh, it's in your mind, blah blah. Well, no, and you got all these experts. Even Gary mentioned, the lighting. This is Hollywood 101, production 101, lighting. It's nothing new. So why are they deviating from that? Green agenda, subconsciously. Melancholia, driving you to depression, to want to off yourself. Yeah, that's a real thing, by the way. This overcast, this cloudiness. Talk to people that live in the Midwest, in Michigan or Seattle. That's where it's always overcast. They'll tell you got to be mindful when it's overcast because it will depress you and you won't even realize it. It's like a heat stroke and dry heat. It's like that.
And the message he gave us would eventually cost him his life.
You need a bat in the side of the head. If you get by a pack of it'll be your fault.
Yet, back in the 1980s, Gibson was so successful, he was operating at a level where studios would greenlight whatever he wanted.
I gotta wonder what the comment was prompted by. I mean, that was a comment to his girlfriend. That was being recorded. So she's obviously being crafty, being a libtard. you standard libtard. So keeping that in mind that she was recording him, could she have been not only doing things but saying something to trigger that, to goad him into a reaction? And I'm not saying his reaction is kosher, pardon the pun, but well, actually, it is quite Hebrew, actually, because if you watch all kinds of movies, they're all on and on about the niggas this and niggas that. Rap music, which they produce, full of promoting the nigga culture. So, yeah, it's actually quite kosher, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, it's just really suspect. They them went out of their way to destroy this guy after the Passion of the Christ. Bottom line.
1996, Braveheart swept the Oscars.
Oh, and by the way, Bill Cosby, Mr. Clean, criticized for that. Suddenly, he's Mr. Sex offender, even though the one in the modern times, turns out they had to throw that out because it was a false claim. They got him for admitting like he was putting Mickeys in girls' drinks in the 60s, which I'm not saying that's okay. But legally speaking, on a secular level, legally speaking, how are you, one, promising him a deal to admit something that's two, past statutes of limitations, and, well, arguably a fad, so much so that all decades later, people are still saying when you go to a party, make sure you watch your drink. Don't put it down because people will slip a Mickey in your drink. Yet Cosby became the billboard for that. The guy who told his own people, hey, pull your pants up, have some self-respect, and became public enemy number one. They hated him for being clean, for not cursing and not being filthy and promoting all this disgusting, sinister, sinful behavior. He's the guy you're going to get for a Mickey in the 60s? Okay.
5 wins, including Best Picture and Best Director. Gibson stood on that stage and called himself a fiscal imbecile.
And they had no problem with giving the reins to a fiscal imbecile. This takes real courage.
And everyone laughed because he made them all very rich. But if you were paying attention around then, there were signs he saw Hollywood very differently than most people who'd made it to his level. In 1998, Playboy did an interview, and buried in all the usual promotional stuff about whatever film he was selling, he said something that did raise some eyebrows.
Yeah, catch this. I mean, how this stuff, well, actually we know why. It's called cover-up. Why this stuff didn't get blown, plastered all over media. Cover-up. Check this out.
He talked about a producer, but he wouldn't name him, whose entire philosophy about women on film was this.
He says, women on film, either naked or dead. Both is better.
Then he kept on going.
Both is better. We're the feminists on that one. Oh, that's right. They took this movement where these Hollywood slime balls are getting exposed, and they made it a feminist movement with the Me Too. They converted, spoiled, and defiled that as well. Oh, no, the men aren't getting raped, exploited. Screw them. Oh, bags are great, right? Is that it? Me Too? Lord have mercy.
I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that couldn't be, because a whole place can't be like, weird town, where the stranger wanders in and all the people are in the bar and they all shut up when he looks at them. And then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. And then you find out later on the track that you were.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yep. Speaking of warmongering, let's Get the kiddies to, I mean, I was guilty of it too. When I was younger, I loved me a good war game. Look. Promoting paganism. And of course, emasculating, even though in this moment they don't.
With a lot of this stuff, and then you find out later on the track that you are exactly on track. With a lot of this stuff.
They ask him about the social contract in Hollywood.
Right. And even what was it, Silent J and Bob, or whatever the heck their names are. I want to say Jim Bob. That's not it. Were, making fun of it. They're all making jokes about this social contract of doing sexual favors to advance your career, including queer sexual favors. What was that movie? Oh, that's the one where they're making fun of God by making God Alanis Morissette. Was it Mallrats? I believe that was Mallrats.
And Gibson explains,
you can't get mad. You can't let it get you, because you have to make a deal with everyone else, and it's almost unspoken that you are going to be f***ed over at some point by people who you may have done something nice for.
He also tells us a real story about meeting.
Before we get to this, yeah, and the main thing, you can't let it get to you. And again, in the moment, as I speak, you guys can see me reacting, getting triggered by all this stuff. Why? Because it's an uphill battle. Here I am with 200 subscribers, thankful for the support and so on. But I'm getting buried. Why am I getting buried? Isn't this more significant, more meaningful, more important than cooking up Muslims with the same old argument? Cat cam? Oi, it doesn't matter. The Jews are killing everyone. They're blowing up Christians. It doesn't matter. That's collateral damage. Oi, give me your shills, or your whatever you call it. Ha ha ha. Oh, you're anti-Semite? Masculine Christianity. Go to war. Rise up. Kill each other. We're Christian. What the hell is going on here, man? Why are people falling for this stuff? Lord have mercy. But yeah, pray unceasingly. Have a prayer rule. If for one, again, this is not bragging. This is me telling you the one thing that's saving me from going completely off the deep end. Getting there is my prayer rule. Thank God I'm Orthodox. Thank God I had spiritual fathers who put me on that path to help me. Hey, you know what? You need to have this for these reasons. I've learned what my life is like without it. And now I'm doing it out of discipline for my salvation, for repentance, to have the strength, the spiritual will to be able to overcome these things to some degree. At the end of the day, I'm still human. I'm still a person with a brain that gets infected by this junk, these triggers that have been embedded in my head, whether I like it or not, whether I realize it or not. But it's my prayer rule that's keeping me, again, from being completely one of the leftards or the rightards, one of the libtards or the rightards. From celebrating, woo! Look, people are getting blown up in Iran. Woo! Okay, I'm happy the Ayatollah is gone. Glory. But, I mean, it's still a life. At the end of the day, it's still a life. The rest of the people, I mean, I've known Iranians. I've had an Iranian, I won't say her position, but she was quite critical in my personal development. Who, at first, I mean, being naive as I am, I thought maybe she was Christian or something. I didn't really care. I didn't ask her. Put my trust in her. And then when she saw that I was Christian and working with Christians, suddenly I was a problem, and she began to slander me and prompt others, peers, to humiliate me, mistreat me, drove me to a breaking point, literally a breaking point. I had to take time off to cope with the violence that she was putting me through. But even her, I mean, I would not say, yay, bomber. No. Even though she went from Muslim to libtard. No. What the hell, man? What are we, Muslim? What are we, Russian? What are we, Nazis? Why would we be applauding the war? What is that? Oh, my gas prices went up? Take it up with the gas company. That's some sand schmuck out in the middle of nowhere. All right, let's move on. I can't. Yeah, I'm getting triggered. Let's go on to oi. Speaking of these schmucks, let's go to these people. Where are we at? Can you see it? Yeah, you can. Wait. All right. Did I share the link for this one? Let me make sure I got you guys. I think I did. Yes, I did. Okay. So let me share the one we're getting ready to watch now. I'm putting away the Mel Gibson one. I encourage you guys to watch all of it. It's called Mel Gibson. Here, let me show it again. Mel Gibson, Tried to Warn You by Moon. Good stuff. Very good documentary. It's 20 minutes long. 20 minutes well spent. I wish I were this good at presenting information, to be frank. He did a very good job with this one. Or she. I think it's a he. Anyway, all right, let's get to this next one. Oi. What's going on here? Something we can't talk about because they're a woke group. They've got the, what is it, the VDL, the VIC, the SSS, what do they call their org that? Oh, Anti-Semitic League. Allegedly, they oh, no, it's not anti-Semitic. No, it's the Anti-Defamation League. Right, because they care about defamation. Not the Hebrew defamation that we're bombarded with. No, not that stuff. No, that stuff's okay. No. But if you say anything real about a Jew, all of a sudden it's a problem. Okay, let's get into it.
You're not welcome in a lot of other places based on your videos.
You don't own this place. You don't own America.
No, you should move on. Nobody wants you here. Please move out.
Tyler, it seems like you discovered that anti-Semitism is lucrative, huh?
So Pat obviously thought that we should pay for.
I mean, the hypocrisy. Okay, just so you got. Hold on. Can I get out of this? Here we go. I exposed New Jersey's Jewish invasion. That's it. Tyler Olivier. He looks Hebrew himself, to be frank. He's got the curls going on, but that doesn't necessarily make him Hebrew. Maybe he's got it in his genes. I don't know. But anyway, let's get back to it.
For their money, so why don't you move to a different country? So
Why don't you go back to Israel? That would be my question.
I got like
public safety.
I would say 150 calls about you already.
What are they calling about?
People trying to live a quiet life.
You two gentlemen, I saw a video of you walking into 136 Hillside. They asked not
Fair
to
enough.
come back.
Amazing.
If you come back, it'll be a trespass.
So you say anti-Semitism, I say anti-Goyism.
The Jewish community is extremely racist.
You have a group of people that call themselves God's people. You are a Semite supremacist.
Elon Musk has 12 kids. Why can't I have 12 kids?
He pays for them. You're arguing that I should.
Semite supremacist. Are we allowed to say that? Why not? If not, why not?
Pay for your kids.
I'm arguing that the government.
And again, I need to be careful here because unfortunately, the commie Nazi pagans, the mass media moonies, the cyborg zombie goats have been programmed and activated to, well, be the Nazis that they are, the commie Nazi pagans, and to start hunting these Jews down. That's not a small problem. I'm not saying we should be, I mean, scripture, I can't remember where, says, you know what? Let God handle them. In other words, yeah, they're evil. New Testament, even Old Testament, talks about how evil these Jews are. But yeah, especially New Testament, they're evil. They massacred their Messiah, and they deviated, especially after the destruction of the Second Temple. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I mean, the list goes on with their violence, but their mass media, the power that mass media gave them over people. Never mind the U.S. Federal Reserve. It's a whole other story. They get me started on the gold standard. But the mass media, the damage that they've done worldwide for over a century now, at least. And I'm just talking about Hollywood, TV land, the boob tube, radio, absolutely the radio. But that's been over a century. It's still influential, still quite influential. I mean, K-pop Demon Hunter songs. That's the thing now. Lord have mercy. Yeah, they created a golem that they lost control of. It's biblical. Again, I'm going with the U.S. being the beast with the 7 heads, 10 horns, 10 crowns, being ridden by a whore of Babylon. Being ridden by a whore of Babylon. The David idolizers. That gets toppled by a red beast, BRICS, driven by, proliferated by Russia, but now I believe China is in the driver's seat of that. Even though the fuel, pardon the pun, is the Arab Muslims. Africa, Brazil, just numbers. Crink, Iran, North Korea, just more psychos doing some dirty work. Yeah, they're the red beast that topples them. And again, I believe the head that gets injured of the beast with the mark of a man, 666, that beast, which is the U.S., the head that gets injured is England. And it will recover because people are turning to Christ in lieu of hitting bottom. Because they're open-minded.
That's our money. I pay taxes.
Excuse me, sir. What are you doing? Can I call the cops on you? Okay, then.
Call the cops for recording? Yeah. Here comes the Gestapo.
We may be in a corrupt hellhole. So what am
Okay. That's an ad. At least there's no noise in this
I being pulled over for?
We got a call. Keep your hands on the steering wheel when you do so.
This is Lakewood, New Jersey, home to one of the largest and fastest growing Orthodox Jewish communities in America, having anywhere from 6 to 10 kids per family, causing the community's rapid growth to spill into the neighboring towns of Jackson, Toms River, Brick, and Howell, causing non-Jewish residents to fear that their town will soon be turned into Little Jerusalem, just like Lakewood.
The tactics within this community, I would liken it to organized crime.
You are the vice. Having different.
Organized crime. Oy vey. The Jewish mafia. Even The Sopranos, actually, that HBO special. There's a lot of back and forth between the mob and the Jews, it looks like. What are the Masons in that picture?
I don't think you're saying a fair statement. This has nothing to do with Ben's driving.
Oh, what does it have to do with bad driving skills or snow?
Totally because of the snow.
Fair.
It was a miscommunication.
That's fair.
I understand what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
That's not what happened. Actually, no one ever.
Totally fair. Okay. You need help getting pushed? All right.
Why are you making up the story to do the documentary? There was not one car inside.
Oh, you just hit the wall. You hit anyone?
No.
Do you need help getting pushed? Okay, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, you're good. Than anyone else. I agree. No, I mean, I'm employed. I employ a lot of people, actually.
You make money for doing nothing.
For doing nothing?
Oy vey. Look at this guy. What is he, the Jewish Santa? Oy vey.
Do you think moving capital and charging interest is something more valuable than I do, or what?
What? I think you should write about
Tell me.
the hundreds of thousands of people that do favors to people every day.
Tell me more.
Open up a book you never saw.
Do a favor. I'll make you a favor you can't refuse.
So many charity organizations and have no like.
I know there's
Charity organizations. All right, let's get into this. I mean, recently the Somalians finally got exposed. The Muslims finally got exposed for a lot of their shenanigans. Glory be. Thank God. And then that needs to continue. That needs to continue. Oh, by the way, I'm not going to say who, but there's somebody reporting these fake fundraising fronts to YouTube, and YouTube is actually doing something about it. Who would have thunk it? You get active, you do some works, good things happen.
so many 501c3s, it makes me wonder, are they all charitable? Are they fiending for tax exemptions? You know, would you say this is a great place to move to for a young family, if I have a kid or a wife, a young wife? Okay, not just the Jews.
Oh, that's one of them.
Okay, respect. What do we have here? We have a. Hey, it's good to meet you.
You see that?
I saw it. What is the name of that organization once again? I saw. Okay, good to meet you, man. See you later. And we have Hatzola.
Look at this. It's the Jewish Gestapo in the United States of America. Huh. I wonder if I had a Greek org that ran around and made sure that nobody said anything negative about Greeks. How would that be received in mass media? Anyway.
I'm up here to help the community. Yeah, this guy doesn't even know what the First Amendment is.
We're busy with the knives.
Don't be a joker, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Come over here. Come over here.
Okay, see, so you can see what's going on here. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just a conspiracy theory. The Jews don't have any control over what's going on in America. Are you kidding me? Green space. The list goes on. What are you guys talking about it anymore? Why are, and worse than all, why are people gobbling this up? Especially those call themselves Christian and choosing King David over the King of Kings. It's beyond me. Okay, let me see what the next one is. So this is Gary. Gary, I got to get out of that. Censorship. Here we go. I already did this one. Fake true 32. Yeah, I already did this one. Nope, hold on. 32. Here we go.
They would sell because it just got too much. And anytime you would say anything about, why would you move? Stay strong, right?
Would they sell?
They would sell because it just got too much. And that, you know, we would have letter writing campaigns, making a lot of calls to county officials, local officials, and state officials.
She's talking about, I don't know whether this, I got the wrong marker, I guess. But she's basically talking about, in case we don't cover it, she's talking about how Jews are literally, including children, going to deal with this with the Chinese. You all know about the Muslims. Jewish children are running around treating the Goy like enemies of the state, like unwanted, like filthy people, and asking them, when are you leaving? Is that not harassment? When are you leaving? What is that, some kind of passive-aggressive Jew takeover?
Trying to find out what ordinances could be created, what we could do to help prevent a full-out turnover. A sign would say Jackson Strong, don't sell, meaning if a new neighbor moves in next to you, don't run, don't sell. Why would you move? Stay strong.
Speaking of, it was monetized. For the love of money.
Would they sell?
They would sell because it just got too much. And anytime you would say anything about it, you were anti-Semitic. I mean, there were Facebook pages created just to slander me. You know, they would manipulate pictures of me. They would put, you know, Russian hats on me, a Hitler mustache. You know, these were things that were even coming out of Israel.
Isn't cyberbullying illegal? I guess if you're Jewish, it's okay.
At one point, there was a post where, you know, somebody had said that, you know, she needs to have an ice pick in her eye, you know, and something like that. I did go to the prosecutor.
Isn't that illegal to threaten someone? Even constitutionally, that's literally the limit. Infringe another person's rights, like, you know, to have two eyeballs. I don't know. What do I know? Unless you're Jewish.
Office, and my Jackson Strong page was taken down for no good reason at all. It was just taken down. There was a page right.
So she has her own web page, and the web page is taken down. Yeah, the Jews don't control the internet, and they didn't proliferate it.
Up Ocean County, which was a pretty important part of everything that was happening. That page was taken down also. However, it was hijacked. So when our page was taken down, just for stating the facts, when you're bringing out the Kaporis incidents, when they're cutting the necks of the chickens and blood is pouring through the streets, and then you're
right. So the rituals. I mean, she didn't cover, unfortunately. They're snipping the little babies and sucking the baby peanut blood. That's, again, post-massacring their Messiah. It went from anti-Christian to pagan, idolizing a whoremongering warmonger. Why? Because he was repentful? You think? Or what?
You're talking about that and you're posting videos, and all of a sudden your Facebook page gets taken down, only to be replaced with a complete anti-goyim harassment page. And you could report that page over and over, and you could have a campaign of people reporting that page, yet that page remained up.
Do you want, like,
what do you know? No, yeah, I guess, I mean, I can have the Muslim or someone I know have those false fundraisers removed from Ubul of all orgs, but she can't have this fascist anti-goy webpage that replaced her webpage removed, regardless of what she does. Okay. And politicians, yeah. This is an advisor to Emperor God Daddy Trump. Let's see what Schmo has to say.
would to be predominantly Muslim? Just you personally?
No.
And why?
Because
I mean, doesn't he sound like who does he sound like, people? You tell me, who does this guy sound like? I mean, I know you want to say the golem, my precious, but give it a minute. Hold on.
it's a
say they don't want to kill you.
I'm fine with people moving in, but to have Jewish schools,
I mean, what's with all this nervousness? I mean, he's like Woody Allen and Fauci combined.
we have to have a critical mass of Jews here to support Jewish schools, to have kosher grocery stores, supermarkets. We have to have a critical mass of Orthodox Jews here.
Oh, look at that. Kosher. Sound familiar? Halal, anyone?
To support kosher supermarkets. By the way,
So using that logic, why would anyone in Jackson want Jackson to have more and more Jews move? If you're arguing there needs to be a critical mass for...
how are we infringing on their right, on their ability to do whatever
I'm
they
not
want?
saying you are, but why would they want that? Why would it be bigoted?
They don't have to want or not want. If somebody's selling their house to an Orthodox Jew, the Orthodox Jew is allowed to buy the house.
Sure, but I'm talking about people who are not selling their houses to Orthodox Jews.
Then they have the right to do that.
Of course. But that doesn't make them a bigot to not want it. It doesn't mean they're hateful. It doesn't mean they hate you.
What is it, their lifestyle, that we're going to change?
See, isn't that what the Muslims do? Yeah, he completely, like a snake that he is, avoids the question, changes the subject instantly. I mean, he's a diplomat after all, or controller of diplomats.
All right, so we could start with the traffic.
All right, let's yeah, the traffic. Okay, you guys got it. Jews can't drive. Congratulations. Join the club. Oh, here we go. One more. Okay, and this is the last one. Let's take a look at the Gestapo, because you know, in America, America's not run by Jews. Explain your children being sent off to for this World War III right now, by the way. October 7th was allowed. Israel's military leader wanted an investigation in 2025 into why it was allowed. Because he had a spat with Netanyahu. And from there, they decimated, were decimating the Middle East. The Ayatollah, good riddance. God have mercy on his soul. What about the rest? You gonna give me the collateral damage line? All right, let's listen to Schmuck.
Who are, and who obviously are not the ones working, because if they're working, they wouldn't have been on the street. They'd be working.
Sure, but it belies a pretty interesting.
Yeah, and he's talking about, you know, they're taking advantage of the system just like Muslims. You know, just basically not working. Misuse of government legislation laws to fund their orgs while shutting down Goy non-Jewish institutions and then taking them over in a hostile takeover, all on taxpayer dime. And as they mentioned before, all the nonprofit organizations being made tax shelters while they get to advertise what blowhards they are. I mean, what do-gooders they are.
Question, right? How do they afford to raise such large families? How do they afford to study full-time?
First, I have to bifurcate your question. There's two groups. One is the ones who are learning full-time, and the other is the ones that are working. For Hasidim, almost all of them go out to work. However, when they first get married, for the first 2 or 3 years, they'll learn Torah.
Hasidim? Is that where they learn how to suck the blood of the baby peni? Or to litter the streets with chicken blood? Voodoo much? Wait.
Full-time. The wife will work. They don't have any children yet. Maybe they have 1 kid or 2 children, and then they'll get help from the family. And if their income qualifies, which it probably does, for financial aid, they'll get financial aid.
Okay, we got this guy following us. We're playing games now. We got the security van rolling on us as we roll on them. We got 1, 2, 3 police. Surely there's no conflict of interest for 2, 3 police.
From their family, and if their income qualifies, which it probably does, for financial aid, they'll get financial aid.
Okay, we got this guy following us.
I'm going to call the police on you for recording facts and making a documentary on how evil we are. I'm going to call the police on you. Anyone will laugh at that, but here we go. And not only do they have their own police org, which somehow is allowed. I mean, the Michigan militia, that can't exist. But this Yiddish Gestapo is okay. Why not just allow Antifa while you're at it, or BLM?
Playing games now. We got the security van rolling on us as we roll on them. We got 1, 2, 3 police. Surely there's no conflict of interest we're about to experience. I wonder what law they're going to claim I violated. How you doing?
Oi, look at that. Honker. What a hunky. Here we go.
My name's Tyler. How are you?
Josh, man.
Good to meet you, Josh.
What's going on?
Josh? What is that short for, Joshua? Oh, oi. Watch out. Make sure you put your goggles on before he approaches you. He might poke your eye out. Oy vey.
I don't know. We're just getting stocked.
Yeah?
Low key, yeah.
You look familiar, though.
My name's Tyler Oliveira.
Oh, yeah, tough guy. He looks familiar. Yeah, tough guy. Man, God forbid one of these schmucks pull me over and treat me like that. God forbid.
We're filming a little YouTube video. That's me, yeah.
So what are you filming out here?
Documentary on Lake.
Oi, look at the guy sneaking up behind him. What a friggin'. Ugh. It's making my skin crawl. See, and the difference between Muslims and these Jews, I would say arguably the only real difference, is that these cunts are passive aggressive. Yeah? I mean, Muslims too, sure. Initially, they come at you with smiles, just like these Jews are. But they're much more aggressive and stuff. These guys, not so much. Not to be mistaken with Israelis. Israelis are like Muslims, completely different breed. Anyone who's worked around Israelis knows exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, they're literally foaming at the mouth. It's like sick. And that's who, Christian apologist, he wouldn't like that clan. That's who they love. That's who they support. That's who they propagate.
Lakewood, surrounding towns. Am I being detained? Is there a probable cause for this interaction? What's going on?
We just got a concern saying that you're walking up to people asking them questions, stuff like that.
Luckily, this is America, and that is the First Amendment, right? It's beautiful, and I get you.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at the schmuck with his golem grin. Are they confused by this guy's locks? Maybe that's what the slow approach is about. I don't know.
You're doing your
when
job.
They call us, we gotta come out here, right? See what you guys doing, like a documentary?
Exactly, just a little documentary right now. Hey, how you guys doing? You guys want to say what's up?
Look like Muslims, just loving it, getting the mob up. Look at this shit-eating grin. Look at this. Look at that. They're enjoying this Hebrew Gestapo terrorizing a journalist. Does it get much more anti-American than this? And these are the people that have been controlling the minds of you, me, children, parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. We're talking a century on back. And then some, really. I mean, if you get into printer, God knows. But definitely from the 20th century on. Definitely. Look at them. Laughing at you. Laughing at me. As they corrupt our souls with their love of money and their rejection of Jesus Christ. Judge them by their fruits. Don't take my word for it. Judge them by their fruits at least. Look at them.
What's up? What's up?
Okay, well, it's good to meet you guys. I know you guys got more important things to do, but good to meet you guys. Good to meet you. Thanks for keeping everyone safe. Thank you.
I'm part of Lake Charmer, which is public safety.
I mean, much more diplomatically than I would have handled it.
Yeah.
And we got multiple calls. Same reason why PD got calls.
Okay.
So that's it. We're just gonna follow you around. We're gonna let everybody know that you can.
Oh, the police can't do anything, so I'm gonna try to bully you now with my big words and let you know, hey, we got an org. We're still gonna harass you. Now imagine this is a Greek. The Jews will be all over it, by the way. All their slant. Where's the ADL on all the Greek bashing their Jew media does? Where's the ADL on that one? Imagine a Greek having an org like this. Imagine a Greek having an org like this and abusing a journalist. What did Jew media say about that? Lord have mercy. Did I share this? Let me make sure I got this in chat. Yeah, I do. All right, let's move on because this is enough. Here we go. All right, let me share this. This is you guys may have already seen this, but just real quick reference. Let me make sure you guys can see it. Yep. Yeah. Undercover in Muslim Stockholm. This was a bit, I don't know, felt a bit contrived. A lot of the stuff this guy does, I gotta wonder about. But it's still interesting, entertaining watch nonetheless. Yeah, he basically, if you haven't seen it, let's show you what he does. It's kind of sort of semi-funny, semi-amusing. Here we go.
Pose as an expatriate American who converted to Islam. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. What is it called? The burqa? What is this called?
The burqa.
What are you wearing?
This.
Yeah, what is it called?
Hijab.
What about for the men on the bottom of their legs? What is that called?
You mean a kameez?
A kameez?
Yeah.
Can an American wear a kameez?
Yeah, all people.
We're going to buy a kameez. It's the skirt.
A male skirt.
I'd like one. Yeah, maybe I should try it on just to make sure. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So yeah, basically he buys it, he wears it out. She's being all nice because he's converting to Islam. Allegedly. What a schmuck. Anyway, yeah, and so he goes into this institution. Hold on. And they're showing just how Muslim the Dutch regions are. I remember one of them. I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Iceland. I can't remember. One of those Scandinavian nations. They were actually advertising about 10 years ago that they're paying men to come to their country. So I think it was Iceland to to help populate the area. Who were they paying at the time 10 years ago? That was a massive Muslim migration into Europe under not only EU/German influence, coercion, but dictate. If you were in the European Union, you did what they said, the Germans. Yeah, so this is the weird, funky building of the Antifa.
Different offices because I'm dressed like I'm from Little Mogadishu. Apparently Christian doesn't want to get near because they'll kill him. Further rendition of what the building looked like before.
Yeah, he's being showed by this guy by a local who is another internet journalist who's getting terrorized. And he gets a tour. He runs into someone. They let him inside, and he shows them around. This is a pretty good video. I'll share the link. It's, again, a lot of it. If you watch it, it does feel contrived. Hey man, look, it's Patriotic Christian. Yo, email me. I don't think I got your email, but all right. You want to come up? You got a minute? Put you on the spot. Maybe you can put me in a place about my anti-Semitism. Hold on. Anyway, so yeah, that's the links in the chat. Let me put it in the description. I'll check the email in a minute. Actually, let me queue up the next video. I've got a couple more and I'm done. Oh, this one's perfect timing. Check this one out. Here we go. Let me refresh. You guys can watch that. Let me see. Make sure. Yeah, perfect. Here we go. In case you missed it, check this one out.
This is the exact moment that a new legend was born.
What's your message to... have you seen Donald Trump? Do you think he should step in?
Donald Trump, don't trust China. China is asshole. This is the exact moment that a new legend...
All right. This is from the China show. They show this guy on a regular basis. And yeah, they I guess I missed you. I don't know when you sent that message. Oh, just a couple minutes ago. I didn't miss you. Anyway. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, this is hilarious. I've worked with the Chinese for years. I've got little kids that, just love, at least act like they love me, whatever, but they're, it's not just lately with attention with Japan and of course the US and all that, especially after what Trump did in South America and so on. And now Iran, but even before that, yeah, I've got little kids like sitting there, like all of a sudden, like, pretending to shoot me and, stab me and all these things. Kids telling me, they're going to kill everyone in the world, including me and Greeks. And it's bad. It's bad. Not all Chinese people are like that, by the way, for the record. A lot of them are really cool, but a lot of them are, well, just like Muslims. I mean, they were pagan, mind you, before communism. Communism is like, for them, not even a century old. We're talking about the mid-20th century, just over half a century old. Before that, they were pagan, and they were still terrorizing, invading their neighbors. So, anyway, let me go to the next one. Yeah, I don't think there's a reason to share that link here, but let me just do it just in case. Just in case. There you go. Okay. What is this? Oh, yeah. Okay, this one, actually, you know what? Yeah, this will be our last one. This one's a bit of a longer watch, and he's got music in it, so I got to skip the music. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Yeah. Great, proud people of Iran. Make sure you guys can see it. Nope. Share screen. Okay. Here we go.
To the great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action. Do not let it pass.
Go, go, go!
I mean, you know, look, yeah, again, PC, where you at, man? I guess he's gone. I got the email. If you can still hear me, yeah, I'd love to do a follow up on the Ahmadi group. David Wood actually covered that just recently, and of course, when he does something, everyone runs with it, goes viral. Yeah, like everyone was doing the same thing about that cult. But yeah, I would love to do, again, not that I know anything about it, but let's do it again. Absolutely. And I'll share you. I see you sent a link with a video on something. I'm not sure what that is, but I don't mind sharing it here. Or should I save that for the, let's see, hold on. Anyway, let's keep going with this. Yeah, PC, he's got military training, all that good stuff. I don't know. I never asked him if he was actually in combat. I never was in combat, not military combat. But I had good friends. Very good friend, best friend actually, was a Vietnam veteran. Other friends who were in other conflicts in the Middle East. Yeah, I mean, just the stories I heard. Then, you know, an acquaintance, let's say the father of a friend. That one was really scarring, actually. Listen, people, war is war. For those that are going on about yay war, regardless, please put down the video games. You know, stop playing the video games. Stop watching the movies. All this pro-war stuff. The taking of life is not a small thing. That being said, you know, yeah, it's like the Crusades. Something has to be done. But the same people, now just keep in mind how we're being set up for things. Again, my background. The same people that are going on about war right now, that are telling you to rise up, the same people that are doing that, or am I at? Okay, the same people that are telling you to rise up. Show you. This is are the same people that not only allowed, that's not even an appropriate word. They paid for, not only prompted, but paid for, encouraged the Muslims to take over your lands in this 21st century hijra, this historical mass migration of Muslims. They're the same people that did that, paid for it too. And then, if you said anything about it, made you the enemy of the state. Now the British can definitely can appreciate that. And a lot has been said lately in these Christian apology circles about the Europeans not looking at their own image. I mean, how Muslim has America been? For how long? You try to take out the mote in someone else's eye? You've had a Muslim president for 2 full terms. Doesn't include the long list of laundry people, the idols, Muslim idols, Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. I mean, the list goes on. And now you're like, yay, masculine Christianity. You know, our brother here, hold on, let me put him back up. He's not coming up, unfortunately. But let me just say one thing about him. And I wanted to do something like this stream. This was a little more impromptu because, again, I got fed up with all the shenanigans. Wherever you go, people are talking about it. Let me show you guys an antidote. I went to a restaurant. With a friend. We're dining, and they're showing this stuff on the boob tube. The war. What else can we be showing? The Iranians celebrating, but also all these bombings of these Iranian facilities, including, I guess, a school. We've heard that one before. You know what? Let me see if I can find it real quick. PC's video. It's really, really cool. But anyways, so this restaurant is like run by women. It's literally nothing but women. And they're watching that and they're like, these poor people. And I was like, yeah, that's what I'm. This is a great spirit. But the whole time I'm looking at them, I mean, you got the dykish chick and the one that I'm getting bad vibes. And after I left, it finally dawned on me. They weren't being Christian. In the sense that, well, you can argue in essence they were, but no, this was coming from a libtard perspective. Oh, look at that, school gun bombed. Oh, the poor Muslims. It's the evil right attacking the poor victims. That's what they were saying. That's a whole other beast. And it might as well be Russian at that point. It might as well be Chinese. It might as well be part of BRICS, and they are. They're BRICS bitches too. They're Masonic militants, but it just happens they're also BRICS bitches. They're the ones that terrorize people for not wearing muzzles. That literally, okay, another restaurant. This happened today. Having lunch with a friend, and I'm waiting for him to show up, and this woman comes into the restaurant. And she starts terrorizing. The poor woman working behind the counter. At that point, she was the only one. It was early lunch. Lunchtime hadn't quite hit yet. So, and she's like, "Come here." She's like, "What?" She's like, "Come here." I'm like, "What the heck's going on?" And she pretty much all but drags the woman outside, and she directs her to this dumpster. And she opens up the lid. I'm like, what the heck? She opens up the lid to this big plastic dumpster trash can thing. And let's go back to this. Yeah, let's go back to this. Doing this dumpster diving thing. Hold on. You guys need to see this too. Really? Okay. Anyway, so doing this dumpster diving thing, she pulls out a couple of containers and she starts pointing at them. I don't know what she said. And it's like, I have to go. She goes, I have to go dig through the stuff to get the stuff out. So she's basically she's dumpster diving to pull out things that she deems as recyclable. She's harassing this woman, all but physically pulling her out to do this routine. I'm like, lady, stepped in. Like, lady, you know, I have a family member who's a head psychologist. I have a car. Would you like me to refer you? It's like, for what? What? I was like, lady, if you have to ask for what, then you definitely need a psychologist. But the people and the shame on you. Get out of here. What am I going on about? I'm going on about all the mass media conditioning. These people that have a bloodlust for the passions. We started this stream with the passions for a reason. The passions are driving us to choose Zionism. The passions are driving us to choose BRICS. Oh, the poor Ayatollah. Bugger off. God have mercy on his soul. I'm not, you know. I mean, I got to admit, when I first saw it, I'm like, yes, it was a sigh of relief. But yeah, now that that's passed, now that the passion is over, like, man, that is kind of sad. Life has been lost. Saddam Hussein, back then I was a libtard. So it's like so many that were prompted, they showed us video of Saddam Hussein setting fires to the Kuwaiti oil fields, destroying nature. There's all these evil things going on. I was like, yeah, whatever. Okay, you know, I was reading Time magazine, Jew publication. So I was like, yeah, you know, war or whatever, but I wasn't really, you know, frothing or anything. But as soon as I saw the video of him attacking nature, ooh, kill people? But oh, you hurt the birds. You hurt the birds, buddy. Now you got to die. All right, so let me show you guys, again, more censorship. This is Patriotic Christian's homepage. Why are they not showing videos on his homepage? What's that about? Look at this. This channel doesn't have any content? What? But you go here, oh, look at that. Content. Shorts. Content. Check out his shorts, by the way, if you haven't. He used to be really good at them. I don't know if he still has it anymore. I don't watch it in the shorts, but he's watched some of his videos. Good stuff. And he's been really active in fighting this fight. And this, I'm here to show you guys a video. I got to find it. But anyways, the point is he's got all kinds of content, right? Yeah, you go to his homepage. Look at what YouTube does to him. So if you visit his homepage, you think he has nothing up. How evil is that? I don't know if he's aware of this. I told him this. I don't know if he caught it or not, if he knows it or not. But hopefully he's watching this and he knows that, hey, yo, man, your homepage is showing that you have no content. Might be why you're struggling to get back up to, what was it, 2,000-3,000? After getting shut down by YouTube for speaking the truth about Muslims? Lord have mercy. All right, let's find this video. It's really good. Hold on. Is this the one? No. No, his journey, personal stuff, quite intense. Oh man. See, and I had this, I thought I had it set up for you guys, but I guess I didn't. Yeah, I think this is the one.
Anglo-Saxon DNA, and I love my fucking pork.
Dang it, PC. Come on, man.
Come on, guys, together. Come on. So you all right, Ned?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay, this is the one. All right, check it out.
Hey. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oi, don't kick a man when he's down. Don't kick a man when he's down. Don't kick a man when he's down. Yo, 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 yo.
This is why I love this guy. I mean, he's still at it. He's still saving people from themselves. He's saving people from their passions. Things are heated. And just so you'll know, another video was taken down. I posted it. They took it down. I didn't get a copy of it, unfortunately. But a coordinator of this event was describing how the police were hurting. First of all, they wouldn't let the leaders and the coordinators of the event to come out I think it was for hours. He said it was a long period of time. They wouldn't even let him come out. They were basically holding back to keep from joining the masses so they can start their march. So people, trying to get people to disperse, basically get bored of waiting and all that and leave. And then finally they let part of the group out, he said, part of the leaders, so they could get things going. And then they started, they were doing all kinds of things to kind of antagonize these marchers, which are pro-UK, pro rights to exist. But they were directing them to this one place, he said. I can't remember if it was full of Muslims or whatever. But it was bad news. And he says the guy, he caught it right away. He said, no. And they kind of forced their way through them being herded into a bad area. And then further down, they did the same thing, but this time successfully. They got into the groups, he said, to get broken up. And then some of those other groups that were ended up lagging got directed into the queer area of whatever the city is. And so therefore, and I don't know if this is, it's in the video. You see all kinds of different clips in this particular video. Let me make sure I share that now that I'm thinking about it in the description and in chat. I encourage you guys to check it out, what's going on. It's a brilliant capture of the corrupt politics of what I'm talking about. And again, these are the same people that are driving you to war. It's not by coincidence. They've saturated us with triggers, and they're prompting us to rise up against each other. That's why they saturated the entire planet with their Muslim Gestapo, their Third Reich, the Muslim Third Reich. Now, with this thing that God Daddy Trump did, how are the Muslims going to react? What do you think? Now that they're saturated all over the place, spread out all over European countries, especially the white Christians, the white Christian men. Anyway, let me show you guys again. I mean, this is real life PC. Keeping his noose, if I may. This is pure speculation. Keeping his noose, being prayerful, being centered on Christ. In the moment, he's like, yeah, stand your ground. But as soon as they get out of hand, what does he do?
Hey! Whoa! Oi! Don't kick a man when he's down! Don't kick a man when he's down! Don't kick a man when he's down!
I love this guy. All right. Yeah, it's fortuitous that he showed up. Let's go back to this other video, and then we'll wrap it up. Yeah, this World War III that's been going on for a while now, but let's say this is a turning point, a pinnacle, a climax. This Iran thing. Oh, he's got music in this. Hold on. Oh yeah, he was saying this guy. Oh, by the way, did I share this? This guy, I don't agree with everything he says, but someone else showed him to me like a year or so ago. I gotta say, he's entertaining. He's a Greek guy. He's got a heavy accent, but he's quite intelligent and he's understandable. If you can understand how to Tash, you'll definitely be able to understand this guy. And no knock on Tutai. She knows I love her to death. And I wouldn't change her accent for anything, by the way. I actually offered her some free English lessons, not to be facetious. That's literally my job, and I'm very good at it. I know for a fact that I could help her break her of her accent if she wanted to. But she let me on a little secret that I'll just leave it at that. But I'm not saying that she's being crafty or anything. I'm just saying that she accidentally has benefited from her accent, and so therefore I wouldn't mess with it. Anyway, so yeah, let me take this down. So I got his email, sent the link. Let's get back to this video. Where's he at? There's some good stuff in this video that I wanted to share. Unfortunately, it's singing throughout. Yeah, he's singing through most of this. I shared it in the chat and a link. I encourage you guys to watch it. I can't show it because I don't want to get zapped. I'd like this video, this live stream, to stay up. Unfortunately, I think that's all I got. Yeah, let's go back to this. Objectophilia. It's a real thing. A crossing over of reality and virtual reality. People falling in love with their inanimate objects or their virtual objects. Again, now I think it's the Chinese that are marrying their avatars, or I mean, the Japanese are already doing this. I mean, girls are marrying their Chat GPT characters. I don't know what's going on with this world, man. But a lot has changed in a decade or two, max. A lot. I mean, extreme all over the world. It's insane. But the point is this, people. Again, as PC demonstrated, now it's timely of him showing up. He helped reminding me that I want to share that with you guys. God bless you, PC. Yeah. We got to keep our nose. I mean, creatures of habit, it'll be best to unplug, to stop the sickness, stop drinking, put down the crack pipe, or whatever the case may be. Again, with me, it's chastity. I mean, it's possible. It's possible. I love women. I love women, people. One of the things that has kept me from going head on into the monastic lifestyle, which I do love. I do love it. I haven't experienced having a small taste of it. I love it. But yeah, it's just these things. But I'm living in the world where I can do anything. I can do anything. I live by myself. Who would know? God would know. It's possible. Anything's possible through God. That's my point. But we've got to do our part. Again, entering the kingdom is a violent process. Faith without works is dead. Keep your noose at all times. Pray unceasingly. And remain focused on Christ, regardless, to the very end. All right. With that, I'm going to leave you with my usual. Let's see, where's it at? Wait, B. Wait. Here it is. Okay. God bless you all. Please, again, take care of each other. And don't give up Christ. You've gotten this far through life. You've been through all kinds of hell. Why would you surrender now? Why would you lose now? Why would you give in to the evil one? No, don't give in to the passions. Love you all. Take care. God bless.
I see.